Just another update, but it's freezing cold in January 2020. Happy New Year. Got to have a cup of tea in the mornings, especially when you're outside in the shed. Right then, now this is a bit of an update on the rear supports for the rear fender. I was never really happy with the original ones that I made for the rear seat. They was nice and strong, but they was a bit like, I don't know, I just didn't like them. Didn't like the shape, and it was all square and boxy. But I'm leaving that whole rear end as one unit, so I can put it back on with the rear seat, passenger seat and all that. But I'm changing the rear end a bit and using soft tail rear covers. Now these aren't actually strong enough to support a person on the back. But on this section here, these are only covers obviously, so they're not really designed to support anything. But this section here is really thin, so any weight that's on there, that will just collapse probably. So the idea is to build a strengthening piece inside here. Doesn't have to be very strong, because I'm not going to have a pillion on this seat, on this fender, but I might be taking some luggage or whatever, so I want it half decent to support a little bit of weight. So I'm going to install some 5mm plate in there just to support that area. Now the idea is to make these plates that go into there, another section goes in there, and then that's joined with a piece in there. So it all sits below the surface of the original chrome plate, so you won't see it, it will just be tucked inside. There's a couple of holes here which I'm going to use, the original holes, and then the bolts will come through that and support it all together. That's the plan anyway. So at the moment I'm cutting out these plates and hopefully get that in today. The rear fender, I started off with the standard soft tail fender, but it didn't work out right. It fits the brackets, it's just huge basically. I was going to trim it at that end where the light goes under there, but that wasn't going to work either, because the fender's so tall. You've got massive gap between the fender and the tyre, and I've got problems anyway, but I just can't see a really big gap like that. So I've managed to pick up one of these, which is a bobbed one, but it actually also sits lower than the rear end is. Got a nice little touch to it there, but that sits lower, and it's also shorter, so I've had to trim a section off the end of the chrome supports. This thing's got a little cover that goes over the end. So that's the plan anyway, and let's see how it comes out. That's just a copy of the inside of the bracket, really. Goes in there, just gives it a bit of added strength. Drill these holes and then it'll bolt on the fender. Right, there we are. Coat of paint and they're done. What I've got to do is I've got to make some spaces for here, so when it bolts onto the frame you've got that little gap. I'll make some spaces for there so when it bolts up it clamps the bracket and the cover nice and tight, otherwise the bracket will be floating around in there. Maybe just some washers, if not a bit of steel spacer. Yeah. Well, the biggest problem we got, now that I've tried to fit it up, is this front of the fender comes out far too round. It won't allow the seat to mount. So I've got to take this bit back, cut it up here, bend this bit down, try and keep that curve as best I can. And I've got to slice this and pull it in without doing too much damage to this bit. It's got to be cut back a bit anyway, so it's all behind the seat this end, so shouldn't be too bad of a problem. Just got to be careful I don't push this back out when I'm pulling these in. It's a bit of a pain. Well, that's how it should look, something like that, I think. That's the idea anyway. Maybe a rack on the back and the back light. Indicators go on the end of the chrome bits with the little covers on. I'll show you them later. Not sure about the seat yet. Okay. Yeah, it's a comfortable seat, really comfortable seat actually. Supports me back, which is a lot better than the little bobber seat on the other bike, but don't know whether it actually goes with that or not, so maybe just a single soft tail seat might look better, might be a bit wider as well to make it fit. That's the idea anyway. Just got to finish it up and give it a coat of paint and wire the indicators. Then it can all go back together. Right then, got it modified. That's the big light I'm going to put on it. Something like that on there. this in modified, all welded up. Just a couple of rattle cans on it really, just to make it black, because I'm not sure if I'm going to have it black, but it matches the rest of the bike at the moment, so that'll do for now. Just to get some paint on it. And inner brackets are done. The spacers made up. Good coat of black paint. They're all ready to go. So yeah, just got to wait for the paint to harden a bit, and then we'll put it together. See how she looks. I've got this seat, which is a soft tail seat. But the brackets weren't wide enough, so I've had to cut the brackets off. And it seems to be a forward seat, short reach seat, what they call it. So I'm going to have it recovered and brought back here to lower this back bit, shorten this bit, so I've got more seating area, and maybe roll the sides a bit. But it's an old one, so it's really hard anyway, so it's going to split if I sit on it. It was only cheap. I've got to get all these rivets out now, take this foam off, so that should be fun. So we'll see. Alright, I've got the side mounts finished off, and got the cables running through inside the mounts, and so it tidies it all up. Back end's finished off with a little end piece, the indicators on there. So when the fender's dry, we can put it together. Painted the inside of the fender with some hammerite thick but it was hard, and I punched a hole in the bottom of the tin, so hey ho, that's the last of that. But just to cover the inside of the fender really, to make it a bit more stone proof, because it's quite thick undercoat type paint, undersill type paint, not undercoat. But the rest of it I've sprayed, so the tops looks good. The bottom's just filled with underside paint to stop stone chips and stuff. When that's dry, we can put it together. Check it out. Also got a rack to go on the back. That's going on the back. Nice little old school rack. It's going on the top. And then my beehive light is going on the back of that. So yeah, it's all there now, just waiting for it to dry up a bit. Well, that's the feed to the indicators, stop lights, tail light, and this is the takeoff that's going to the beehive light that runs around inside the fender. I forgot to put that on, so I had to recut it and join them up. And that goes into the loom on the bike, and that goes off to the rear tail light, stop tail indicator, and that goes off to the brake light. Yeah, can't put the plastic cap on that one yet because I'm not by the bike, so I can't remember what the wires were at the moment. So I'll have to get my wiring diagram out and have a look that I drew up. Right, okay. I just decided to add a little pinstripe to match the tank around the side, a little bit at the back. I'm going to wait for that to dry, and then I can put the bits back together. This is all ready now. It's the back light. It's going on there, somewhere there, something like that. So nearly there. She's on at last. Just got the seat back, new mount for the seat under there. Rack's on. It's all bolted up. Thank God. So it's a different option. Still got the other one up there. It's totally complete. I haven't taken anything off of it, so if I need to put a passenger on the back again at any time, I can just bolt that one back on. Got the other seat and everything. Totally interchangeable, which is what I wanted. So yeah, took longer than I expected as usual, but we got there in the end. Good. What I've got to do is wait for some good weather so I can try it.